Hey everyone, I'm Noble Absinthe, and welcome back to my Samurai Jack Retrospective. Today we're on episode 5 of Season 5, or episode 57. Let's get started. This episode starts off meaning business. We immediately get ourselves our favorite loudmouth, the Scotsman, and his hundreds of daughters. It's shown that even though he's an old geezer now, in a wheelchair, he hasn't lost any of his pep. His army is attacking a giant tree in the shape of Aku, and then we transition to Aku just not having a good day. Aku decides to just kill them out of boredom by rolling over all of them in a giant ball. After seeing all of his mounted units destroyed in about 5 seconds, the Scotsman has an epiphany.
You know what? This was a bad idea!
The Scotsman decides to stall Aku for his daughters to escape, and we get ourselves our second most fated duel. The Scotsman decides to basically scold Aku, saying he's a giant wuss, that he still can't beat Jack, and that Jack is still having a positive influence on the world, inspiring people by the thousands. The Scotsman laughs at Aku, and he dies. Oh, he dies hard. And the sword that I thought was basically the European equivalent to Jack's sword is also broken. But don't worry everyone, you can't kill badassery for long. He'll just come back stronger than before. The Scotsman returns as a ghost, and in his prime no less. His new plan is to regroup and to finish off Aku with Jack's help. Makes you think he wanted to get fried by Aku just to have this plan go off. We then transition back to Ashi and Jack on the island. Ashi is having this internal struggle between her mother and Jack's words. With how creepy this scene is played off, you might actually think her mother is there. Anyway, as the day breaks, Jack fashions them a ride on a sea dragon. He just picked one up so easily, you know. As they travel, it's clear Ashi is getting to see the beauty of nature firsthand, and is realizing more and more that her mother was wrong. Also, as a footnote, how did Ashi's mother not know you can just go and talk to Aku? Kinda makes the whole Daughters of Aku thing seem kinda pointless, you know? I just kinda realized that. Jack bids both the dragon and Ashi farewell. We then transition to Jack still being haunted by his failures by the fire, until Ashi arrives demanding answers about the truth. Jack initially refuses to give her an answer because he knows he can't prove it to her eyes. She has to see it for herself. But as she walks off angrily, he changes his mind. Again, maybe it's because of that booty, or maybe it's because he gets to qualm the fears that are still inside of him. He tells Ashi a story he was told by his mother about the stars, and he looks legitimately happy telling it. This little tale is about how the sun and moon were brothers and would ride a giant phoenix together, shooting arrows into the universe to make the stars. This story makes Ashi happy, and then we transition to daytime, where Jack shows her a lone tree where there used to be a vibrant forest. Aku is responsible for the destruction of nature's beauty, and again, Ashi is given a first-hand and real-life example to contrast the mere empty words of her mother. And it's a very powerful contrast. We then transition to a city of Aku, which just screams evil. I think Ashi gets it now. I mean, just look at that. It's just evil. Jack steals himself some threads, which is not something a noble samurai should do, but hey, it's whatever. Listen, Ashi should get the most clear example of Aku's evil, when a clearly evildoer comes into Earth stating that he is evil like Aku. We have this piece of shit secretary here have him take residence in the most sweet and innocent place imaginable, so that he can rape and pillage to his heart's content. But hey, Jack doesn't stop right there. He just keeps showing her the shit world Aku left behind, and just to make sure, Jack asks her if she believes him now. And Ashi finally says that she does, and she wants to help fix this horrible world. She wants to help Jack 100%. But Jack says this.
I've lived this nightmare for what seems like an eternity. There is no way to defeat him. There is no hope.
Jack explains he's been fighting Aku for ages, and that he's given up on the fight. Ashi shows her anger, but is interrupted by someone calling out for help. A citizen of the wreckage recognizes Jack and is happy for his return. The man explains to him that they took all the children to a factory. We then waste no time getting to the factory to see the children, and they've been turned into ravenous monsters. Ashi and Jack split up to destroy the transmitter that is making these kids into monsters. Jack opts to be the distraction for Ashi. We get ourselves some tense music and interesting shots, but poor Ashi is captured. And if Ashi needed to be convinced just a little bit more that Aku's world sucks, we have this guy right here make it even more clear. As a side note, can Jack stay clothed for like a full episode? I know it harkens back to the old series, but it just reminds me of how much I miss his old gi. Anyway, this guy right here still cements that Aku is the bad guy even more, and it's insane how well he does it. I mean,
even after all this time, that fool still can't hurt an innocent. Turning those innocent kids into weapons, it's a parallel to how you were raised into a weapon. It's a great idea, right? Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna forcefully discharge more of my electricity into you to make clear that Jack is the good guy and Aku is the bad guy.
Dear God, I just said all that. Ashi rips her way out and beats the fuck out of this guy. And it's fitting that a guy who fucks with kids would have a mustache and bad teeth. Kick his ass, Ashi! However, Ashi may have taken her anger a bit too far. We see the kids get fried, and Jack is horrified by all the seemingly dead children. An image of Junior comes up and tells Jack,
"It is time."
What does he mean? Well, we don't know yet. Jack leaves with Junior into the green mist. We then have Ashi return to the kids, and it's revealed that they're okay. But Ashi can't find Jack. Oh, for fuck's sakes, please catch up to him because he thinks you killed him, Ashi. The episode then ends with Ashi screaming Jack's name. This episode was definitely a good one. A great one, actually. We cleared a very good character arc for Ashi, saved some people, and made a person explode. We accomplished a lot for one episode, both keeping with the old Samurai Jack scheme, someone's in danger, while also progressing the character arc introduced in Season 5 for Jack. Where did Junior here take Jack? Well, if the beginning of the episode is an indication, it might be a path to the Scotsman. Maybe not directly to him, but a figurative path to him, like being led back to the sword, then to the Scotsman. As for my thoughts on Ashi, this episode really hammered in the truth to her. It was great and very needed. Through her, we got to see the world which includes both beauty and destruction. It's clear that Aku hasn't gotten to ruin everything in the world, but what she got to see is enough to convince her that Aku is definitely the problem, and her experience getting tortured should be enough to cement it. Now that she's fully on Jack's side, the guy fucking bounces. Now, Ashi is the deuteragonist. I'm sure she'll find Jack in a important set piece with him and Junior, or maybe she'll find Flora and they will meet up with Jack at the final fight with Aku. I don't usually watch the promos for the next episode since I like to be surprised when the next episode comes out, but for this one I did. The next episode is going to be focusing on Ashi trying to find Jack, and we get to see the Woolies again. I think it'll be interesting to see Ashi adventure out on her own and discover the world and have her form her own opinions. She was told two sides, her mother's and Jack's. One is clearly wrong, but she has to find her own answers. On her journey to find Jack, I wonder what she'll find. Hopefully it's not something to flip her back to the other side again. That would be really annoying. I'm hoping it will be a bunch of people heralding Jack as the savior of humanity, and she gets to realize how much of a humble hero he is. Remember, Jack never speaks of his past, but we as the audience know that he's achieved a lot. Ultimately, I really like this episode. I was hoping for them to spend more alone time on the island, sharing stories back and forth, but we left that place pretty much as soon as we got there, and instead we got a variety pack of locales, and some demon children story that was fitting for a one-off, but was rushed just enough. We also got the return of the Scotsman and Aku being an overpowered dick. I really couldn't ask for more in an episode. We also got Junior to finally say something and move the plot along. I'm sure that episode 7 will be transitioning to be more Jack-focused, since it's pretty clear the next one, episode 6, is an Ashi episode. Also, just putting this one out there, how crazy would it be if Ashi just found Jack's sword before he did? I mean, she doesn't have a weapon anymore, maybe she'll need one to protect herself, and she just happens to find it. But that's a long shot. Anyway guys, if you liked the video, please feel free to subscribe and tick that chime next to it to stay updated. Likes and shares are always super nice, and I do read every comment. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.